What's up, good people? It's your boy Laws OSS 980, other side of sports. I'm here. I told you we was gonna give you the breakdown on the draft picks. I know y'all been waiting for this. This is your top 5 QB prospects. A lot of teams need QBs in this draft. Washington Commanders is one of them. I'm I'm gonna break down the quarterbacks. I'm gonna give you my assessment of who I think the NFL player comparison is. Give you a little bit of background on how I come to these assessments. Talk a little bit about like what I'm looking for in the tape. I'm gonna try to teach y'all how to do it, dog, so y'all can avoid getting swept up in the funny business every year, picking the wrong guy, going with the media. Now, I just gotta put a disclaimer out there because when I give my picks, people are gonna be like, "Oh, you trolling, dog? Why you ain't do this and why you ain't do that? You don't know what you talking about. This, and that." I just want to tell you, right, that we've been doing this for a very long time. So it's not like you can't go back and like check to see if the past drafts that we've done, if we've hit on those players or not. So you can just check the game. I'm just telling y'all before y'all get into the dog. You don't know what you told you. If you were so good, why you listen, bro? Just go check the tapes from last year, the year before that, the year before that. We've been doing evaluations since roughly about 2015, right? So you could go back and see if I'm making this up. Now, some of the player comparisons, you're gonna be like, I don't know about that. But when you look at the game tape, that's all I do. I basically block out the media, what people be saying. I just say, okay, let me look at some games, look at what they do on the field, look at what kind of attributes they have, look how they handle certain situations, and then I make an assessment. Based upon that assessment, I will try my best. Sometimes it's hard to find like a direct comparison to have where people could be like, oh, his game's going to translate like this, right? So I just do the best that I can with that, right? But we're going to start first. Number 5, we starting with JJ McCarthy. So JJ McCarthy, right? A lot of good things out of his game film and his game tape. One of the things that stands out right away is that he takes care of the football. JJ McCarthy does not just make crazy decisions and throw in the traffic. He may have a bad pass here or there, but for the most part, he's very efficient. I think at the pro level, he will be able to run an offense. I think he's very smart as a quarterback. And he has some intangibles that can translate to the next level. Now, is he super athletic? No. Is he super like got this rocket arm? I wouldn't say that. He has a good arm. I think he can make all the throws. To me, I think his greatest attribute is just like his gamesmanship, his awareness of situations and what to do in certain situations and where to go with the football. I think he's been coached really well, and he showed consistency to really take care of the football. So for me, I think JJ McCarthy is just, he's my number 5 here. If I had to give like a player comparison, to me, like I feel like his floor is like Jake Browning a little bit, with a little bit of Kirk Cousins. So I can see him, ceiling being like Kirk Cousins, where he's playing on a team and he's a solid quarterback. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to win the whole chip with Kirk Cousins, but you can at least be, viable. And if you have things in place, it will help. Like if he goes to a team with a solid running back, all those things bode well. I mean, running backs across the board help, quarterbacks who aren't like super athletic and elite, like from a athleticism standpoint. But like, I think JJ McCarthy is a solid QB. So that's my number 5 right there, JJ McCarthy. At number 4, Bo Nix. I know people like, wow, you got Bo Nix right here, number 4. Like, Bo Nix has a lot of things that I think translate to the next level. He has legs, he has wheels. I would even argue that his wheels are better than Drake May, like who, runs at times. I think he's a little faster, in my opinion, just from watching the tape. He just looks to be a little bit faster. He has an arm, he got a rocket, he can throw downfield. Um, you know, I mean, he can fit the ball in tight windows. Um, I know people are concerned with like his age. I mean, that's not a big concern to me. His age. I mean, he's 23 years old, though. Like that's still young, and I think he's benefited from like moving around a little bit. You could probably put the Auburn like how he started there as a knock on his resume, but I just don't do that. Like when I'm looking at the quarterbacks and I'm evaluating, I'm like, can they play at the next level? Do they have the tools to be successful at the next level? And I think Bo Nix does have the tools. Now, I mean, it definitely is going to matter what team he goes to, but I mean, I like Bo Nix. And my player comparison right now, and some not gonna agree, some gonna be like, oh, that's a little bit. I think he's aligned with like a Deshaun Watson in a sense. Like, how he throws the ball, how he, has athleticism, can move out of the pocket. I mean, his numbers are his numbers, dog. 45-3 is strong, a strong output from the quarterback position. And like if you look at the tape, you'll see some of those things that I'm talking about with his ability to like throw and get the ball downfield. And again, Deshaun Watson is not a perfect quarterback, and some would say like he's regressed, based upon like being out of football and stuff like that. I'm talking about like early Deshaun. Like I think he has a lot of those same attributes. He might not be as athletic as Deshaun Watson is, but like his ability to get away from stuff and to keep his eyes downfield and make plays downfield, make plays with his legs, make plays with his arm. Like Bo Nix has all of that. So that's my number 4. Number 3, Michael Penix Jr. Now, Michael Penix Jr. is an interesting like player because he's had injuries. He like been in college for a minute. He's been able to get better just being around a college game for longer than some other collegiate athletes. And so I mean, some can make that a knock to him. I don't care about none of that. Can he make the throws? Does he have an arm? What is his strengths? What is his weaknesses? And Michael Penix Jr. can throw the football. He can place the football in a bucket. I mean, he has arm talent out the wazoo. Now, you got to protect him, which, I mean, goes across the board. I mean, anytime you're drafting a quarterback, you need to protect him. But, like, I think that it's really going to be pertinent what team Michael Penix Jr. goes to. Because if he goes to certain teams, I think he'll struggle way more than if he goes to other teams. Like, I think a good pick for him would be like the Vikings at 11. Would be a good team for him to go to. They have weapons on the outside. They have a okay offensive line. But I think with weapons like that, his ability to throw the football and place it, I think Michael Penix Jr. would be good in that offense too. So I like Michael Penix. If he doesn't go to the Vikings, I think the Bucks at 26 will be another good landing spot for Michael Penix Jr. Again, right? I mean, some like, oh, Baker Mayfield, he's not the future. Like Baker Mayfield did more than anybody expected him to do, but I just think like you still need to get a quarterback if you're the Bucks, right? So Michael Penix Jr. is sitting there. If he's sitting there, like that's a guy who I would take a flyer on. And bring into the Bucks organizations. They have offensive talent and weapons there that can be utilized. I mean, this Bama's deep ball is immaculate, though. Pause all the way. But I'm telling you, like his touch on the football is second to none out of this group. Like, I mean, he could arguably have one of the best arms in this prospect class. If you're going by that game before the championship. And you saw in the championship, they was moving him off his spots. They were, challenging him, and he had to get rid of the football quickly. And that's where his mistakes started to show up. I mean, that's where you start to see the inaccuracies and his passing when the pressure's on. And so, I mean, if you're a team and you're not sure that you're going to be able to protect your quarterback, I would not make this pick for Michael Penix Jr., even though the talent's there. If I had to like give him like a player comparison, I probably put him in the space of like a Mark Brunell. Like is the floor. Steve McNair, like is your ceiling. Like I think this guy, if all things are built right around him, you can see him do a lot of like almost like a Kurt Warner in a sense. Like I think he has a little bit of Kurt Warner in his game too, as well, where like you can spread the teams out and just pick them apart if he has the time and he has the weapons. So I think those are two caveats that he's going to need in order to have success. But as far as like talent and ability, Batman got an arm. So we're just going to keep it all the way 100. He got an arm. And like I said, arguably one of the best arms in this draft class. At number 2, Caleb Williams. Now I know a lot of people have him as their number 1, which is fine, right? I'm not him being number 2 is not saying like he's some trash or he's some cut and he can't play or whatever. It's more so just how I'm just view this situation. And like Caleb Williams, like where he thrives, his elite attribute is like that intermediate passing game. Like I think he really excels in the intermediate passing game. I think he's super elusive, when it comes to being in the pocket. But the reality is a lot of that's not going to fly at the NFL level. Like some of the stuff he gets away with in college, getting out of the pocket and spinning around and breaking a tackle here and then throwing the ball, 20 yards downfield to a guy streaking across the middle to the backside. Like that stuff is not going to fly. Now, he has the ability, like, and when I look at it, like, it was hard doing a comparison for Caleb Williams because I don't really think there's no like 1-for-1 comparison for him in the league, like with his skill set and attributes. So this guy has elite arm talent, right? He can place the football. He can, fit it in small windows. He can throw to the outside. He can make every throw. So arm strength is not really a concern of mine. Like more so his decision making and what that's going to look like at the next level. That's where the question marks lie, because I think a lot of the things that he's been able to excel at in college, like that's going to go away at the next level. Now, as far as running an offense, I do think Caleb Williams is probably the best suited to run an NFL style pro offense right out the gate. So that's mean like you need your quarterback to get acclimated to the system the quickest. I think Caleb Williams is probably fit to the NFL scheme better than any of the other quarterbacks, from like being able to learn an offense and apply it very quickly, throwing like the bubble screens and some of these like just the NFL style offense, like right out the gate, coming out of center, all of that stuff. I think Caleb Williams is the best suited for that right now as a prospect. And so for that, like depending on the team, you may need your quarterback to get up to speed quickly. And so if that's the case, you may be looking at Caleb Williams a little bit different than the other prospects, because you're like, this guy, I need whoever comes in, I need him to take the reins quickly. And I think Caleb Williams will have the ability to do that. NFL comparison was like, again, I said it was kind of a little bit tricky, but if I had to like put him in an NFL comparison space, it would be he's like, maybe 50% Kyler Murray, and just his elusiveness. He may be like 25% Patrick Mahomes. I mean, he can throw those across the body, those no look, like the arm angles, all of the Patrick Mahomes arm angles, he got that down. Like you could be able to like put that as a part of his arsenal if that's what you're looking to build your offense and how you build offense. I wouldn't start there right away. I mean, everybody has to realize that Patrick Mahomes was able to sit a season behind Alex Smith before he was cast out there, which was very beneficial to him to be able to like learn the offense and be able to, grow in that offense. So I don't think, of course, Caleb Williams, if he's getting picked 1, 2, like he's not going to have that opportunity to kind of sit behind somebody and really get a hold of it, which I think personally would put him on another upper echelon if he was able to afford that. But it's just not going to happen, because whatever team's picking at the top is going to need the player to come in and play right away. So, but overall, like I think he has a little bit of Russell Wilson, in his game, just to be able to get out of the pocket and still get the ball downfield and fit it in tight windows and all of the above, right? Definitely much more Kyler Murray than anything else. Like just his ability to get out the pocket and escape and get out of trouble. Like he has all of that. Now that's going to get cut in half at the next level, about 50%. Like you just all of them tackles you breaking in college just goes down significantly at the next level. So, but he's the number 2 prospect. And the number 1 prospect, the OSS 980 crew, we got Jayden Daniels. It's no question in my mind. Like if we're doing this and we're evaluating and we're saying I'm picking 1, 2, or 3, and I need the best guy for my team, it's Jayden Daniels, 10 times out of 10. Just because he has X factor, right? X factor is when the abilities of your player can compensate for deficiencies on your team. And if you're picking 1, 2, or 3, you're going to need somebody who's an X factor. And Jayden Daniels is an X factor. This dude is elusive. He got wheels. He can throw the football. He can throw down the field. I mean, I know people comparing him like, oh, he's like Lamar Jackson. He's a better thrower of the football than Lamar Jackson was at this stage coming out of college. Like, it's not even close to me. Jayden Daniels is electrifying. And if you're trying to compete right away, you're going to need somebody to make up. You call the wrong play and the lineman busts through the line, and you need a player who can get loose. You need a player that when teams are game planning, they're like, okay, we have to contain him and keep him in pocket. Like these are things that make your offense run easier. These help your offense without him doing anything. Just the threat of his abilities allow you to plan differently for your offense and give you a leg up in the whole situation. Mind you, if you have weapons along with that, like that's just all going to bode well for you, right? If you're looking to have a CJ Stroud-esque type of impression on the league, right? You need a player like Jayden Daniels who has all of these attributes at his disposal. Now, yes, I do not like him taking those big hits that he's taking, frequently in his college career. Them Jones, you hold your breath. Every time Lamar runs, you hold your breath like, oh, is he hurt? Is he okay? Is he going to get up? Like Jayden Daniels had a lot of those plays, and you don't want that at the next level for sure. And you're going to coach him to like kind of stay out of those scenarios because, the best ability is your availability, right? For any quarterback in the league. And if you take a quarterback who does have that ability to run and get out of the pocket and stuff like that, you run a risk of health being a concern, right? And I know for some people don't want to even deal with that. Like, I don't want to deal with that. It's like, no, screw that. If you're trying to win football games, you go with the best player. And Jayden Daniels is, in my opinion, the best player. Right? He got a rocking arm. He can make all the throws. He can drop the ball in a bucket. I mean, if you want to play air the football out, like he's your guy, right? Now you probably have to work on the intermediate stuff a little bit more under center. You definitely gonna have to work on that because he's in shotgun primarily a lot. But LSU like run a pro style offense. I think that this kid really is a game changer, and you gonna like. When it all shakes out, y'all gonna remember, things that got bad. But when I get this right, people gonna be like, "Oh yeah, who said he's the best quarterback?" And you're gonna hear pundits and people start saying it. But I said it before all of them. We said it here before they all did because of course, we watch the tape before they do, and then we tell you what we think before they do. But yeah. I'm just telling you, Jayden Daniels is the guy. That's who I'm rocking with at my number 1 spot. If I'm picking 1, I'm picking him. If he falls to me at 2, I'm picking him. That's it. If It's either one and two. I'm the Commanders. You either getting Caleb Williams or Jayden Daniels. Those are the only two scenarios that exist. Anybody else, not Michael Penix Jr., not unless you just move back into the draft, far back in the draft. Like it just, I'm not taking a flyer on any of the other guys, like bringing them in my franchise when you're picking number two. Side note, I heard on the radio the other day, there was some guy talking about like if you bring in, one of these quarterbacks and, you tell them that you have, and this is for Commanders fans out there. You tell them you have Sam Howell, and he's a 3-year player, and this is his 3rd year, and you're probably going to start the year backing him up. Whoever said that is an idiot. I just want to say that flat out and clear. If Sam Howell was the guy you wanted to rock with, you would not be picking number 2 in the NFL draft. You need to be rolling a red carpet out for any of these prospects. You don't need to be trying to play hardball and, we have Sam Howell on our team. Like that whoever's saying that, they're foolish and they know nothing about people and football. To try to see how he responds and flinch. Like what? Are you taking medication? Because that you're not in your right mind. If I'm number 2 pick or a prospect and you say some foolishness like that, matter of fact, I'm going to tell you, please don't draft me because you don't know what you're doing. If you want to try to intimidate me or like see how I respond, then Sam Howell, I don't even want to hear this competition. People are like, oh yeah, you need to have a competition. So, okay, yes, you have a competition, but that's a formality. If I'm picking the guy at the front, I need to hear them express confidence in they will be the guy for this football franchise and the team. If it sounded like they're not sure about that, then they're not my guy. That's just 101, like leadership, right? Because if somebody asks me and I'm coming into the front, dog, like who? Sam Howell, who? Like, stop it. We're not doing that. Do not pick me if you think Sam Howell can hold a torch to me, period. Like that's the type of person I need coming into to the team. Not nobody like, oh yeah, I mean, if yeah, okay, I'm cool with that. Like whatever you guys, that's not the player I want. I'm just keep it all the way 100. I know some of y'all are mad right now. Y'all like, hold on, is that your top 5? And you never mentioned Drake May. You didn't mention Drake May's not in your top 5. You gotta be kidding me. You don't know what you're talking about. Some of y'all like this, dog. Some of y'all like this.
You're a crumb creep. I want to fight you. But you don't have the courage. You're a real crumb bum.
But it's okay, because I know that those people who feel that adamant about their position, about Drake May and stuff like that, have not watched the film and analyzed it properly. But you know what? I'm not going to leave y'all out there. I'm going to tell y'all about Drake May. He's my number 6 prospect, right? And I know people like, oh, what do you think about Drake May? Look, Drake May, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to tell you, when I say this, it might go viral. I'm going to keep it all the way 100. When I say this, it might go viral. Drake May is Tim Tebow. He's Tim Tebow, people. People forget, Tim Tebow in college, this Bama Tim Tebow had 32 touchdowns passing and 6 interceptions. 30-4 one year. Like Tim Tebow, people thought coming out of college, like, oh yeah, it was a lot of back and forth on what Tim Tebow was going to be at the next level. Now, I do think Drake May, has a little better arm than Tim Tebow, but like I could really see a lot of the issues that Tim Tebow had with moving the football and placing the football downfield and stuff, where the coverage is a lot tighter. You know what I'm saying? It's just different. And then you got a quarterback that's kind of runs heavy a little bit, and you're trying to incorporate that because that's a part of their game into the game plan, opposed to running a pro style football offense. I'm just telling you, people, go look at the tape. The plays where he's running and the guy like grabs his leg and he's like about to get tackled and he throws the football with his left hand. People think that's cute in college. In the pros, that's not going to fly. You're not doing that. That's not going to fly. You getting tackled to the ground and you throw the ball like you jump back on your back foot and just loft the ball up in the air and it's 50-50 balls, and just because you have the better players at receiver, everybody's like, oh my goodness, what an athletic play, that was so great. I'm telling you, people, in the league, that goes away. And that's what I'll look at when I evaluate quarterbacks and stuff. I'm trying to answer this question. This is the secret I'm about to tell y'all, because I know y'all want to know. The secret is, who's more important? Is it the receiver? It is a 50-50 pass, and the receiver got to like outwork the defender and make a play on the football? Or is it the quarterback putting the ball in such a beautiful placement where the receiver, all you got to do is just stick his hands out and catch the football? Is it the receiver got to jump and maul the Bama and clap the football over top of his head, like over top of the defender, because the ball's not in the right placement and he got to just make a play? Or is it the quarterback throw the ball so perfectly that it just comes over the shoulder, and the receiver, all you got to do is stick his hands out, and the defender really is at a disadvantage because of the pass that was made? Those are the difference makers. And for me, Drake May does not consistently put the football in the places where it needs to be in order for the receiver to just be able to catch the football. You're saying a lot. You can go watch the tape for yourself, because I'm not going to put it up there so they flag my video. More often than not, the receiver is making the play, not the quarterback in the pass. That's just the flat out. And you know who else was like that? Tim Tebow. The players were making the plays, all was just schemed open perfect, right? And so, it scares me. When you got a lot of 50-50 balls that the receivers are having to make the plays, and the league and the NFL level, those 50-50 balls get cut to 20%. Like, it's 50-50. You may have a receiver that outworked the cornerback or the whatever. The defensive schemes are way more advanced. It's just not, those 50-50 is not going to fly to the level that, it flies in college. And that's because a majority of the defenders, they're just not going pro. They're just not, you're not playing against pro level talent every week. And especially not in North Carolina. So, all of that, when, you're playing high level competition and you look pedestrian, those are alarming to me. When you play high level competition and you cook, then I'm like, okay, all right, we might get, you could give more points for that. But it's just not the case for Drake May. And when I look at him and I see how he makes decisions, I see when he throws the football, decisions he's making with the football, there are a lot of those decisions are very reckless. And I'm like, at the next level, you cannot be reckless like that. You can, but it's going to end up bad. And so whatever team decides to, draft Drake May in the first round, because, they're talking about it as a first round prospect, like, good luck to you. Because I just see too many things that are alarming from an evaluation standpoint, right? When you're evaluating the quarterback, especially if you're picking at the top, you cannot be wrong on a lot of parts of that quarterback. And to me, Drake May just has a lot of deficiencies that just don't look like deficiencies at the collegiate level. They just don't look like deficiencies because the talent is just not of the echelon for it to be glaring. But I'm always the practice how you play type of player. So whatever you're doing now, right? A lot of that, who you are now, is not going to change. And for somebody who, is this all-world talent, right? The numbers don't tell me that either. It's one thing if the numbers tell me like, oh, this Bama's elite. The numbers don't even tell me that. You regressed, Drake May. Yeah, last season was cooking. You regressed. Like, to me, another regression is in line at the next level when the talent is far more superior. You look at Bo Nix. Bo Nix, his numbers, his numbers blow Drake May's numbers out the water. I just don't know why he's being pushed up the board. Well, I do know why, and Aaron knows why too. But that's the assessment, and you can go look at the film. Don't just hear what I'm saying and get in your feelings and be like, oh, you don't know, like blah, blah, blah. Just go look at the tape, right? You're gonna see exactly what I'm talking about. You're going to see throws, behind the receivers where they're 50-50. And if the receiver don't make a play, there might be a pick. You're going to see off the back leg throws where he's like jumping backwards and throwing with two defenders bearing on him. Like in the league, that's a pick. You're going to see him, running and trying to like break every single tackle and get away. In the league, that's a fumble. You trying to break tackle, you got to put the ball in your left hand and throw it. Like that's a pick or incompletion, right? So it's just a different level of competition. And right now, with the level of competition that he's at, he should have 50 touchdowns this year with 9 interceptions. 50. And 24? Come on, people. Come on, people. So there you have it. That's my top 5 quarterback prospects. Go look at the tape. Look at the tape and keep in mind some of the comparisons and things that I've like made you aware of. And look for it, right? You can look in the highlights. You can look at games. You can look at all of it. It don't matter. It's going to show up because that's all I look at is the tape. I don't listen to Mel Kiper and some of these other clowns that be talking. Like, no, I just look at the tape. I analyze it. I put assessment. I know certain things and certain factors contribute to changes in that. And it is what it is. And that's why we always get it right just about every year. I mean, we've gotten, 1 or 2 players wrong, but for the most part, we hit. So, that's the assessment. Follow us at OSS 980. Let me know in the comments if you agree, if you think it's just all cap, or you think, oh, know what you're talking about. If you agree with the assessment, if you looked at it and you said against him, like, nah, I can see that makes a little sense, right? Rock with me. Rock with me. Subscribe to the channel. It's your boy Laws. I'm out. Peace.